The whistle in your mouth tastes like metal and old fear. 80,000 people scream around you, a tidal wave of color and rage crashing inside a stadium that vibrates under your feet. The grass smells fresh, wet from the evening rain, cut so perfectly it almost feels fake. Cameras stare down from every angle like mechanical vultures waiting for blood. The World Cup final, 90 minutes away from immortality or disgrace. Your hand tightens around the whistle. Sweat crawls down your spine beneath the black referee shirt. On the surface, you are calm, professional, the neutral judge of the world's biggest match. But beneath that calm, your heart pounds like a war drum because deep down, you know the truth. This game was decided long before the first kick, and you're the one holding the knife. You weren't always like this. Once.
You believed football was sacred?
You remember the dirt fields of your childhood? The cracked white lines drawn with chalk and hope, kids screaming, chasing a ball like it was the center of the universe.
No money.
No politics.
Just a beautiful game. You were never talented enough to become a player. That dream died early, somewhere between broken cleats and brutal tryouts where faster boys outran you without mercy.
But you still loved the game.
Loved the rules.
Loved the strange power referees held, invisible figures deciding chaos with a single whistle. You studied the laws of the game like scripture. Offside traps, tactical fouls, advantage rules, control. Years passed. Lower leagues, amateur matches where drunk fans hurled beer cans when they didn't like your calls.
You learned quickly.
Referees aren't respected. They're hated, blamed for everything. Invisible when they're right, public enemies when they're wrong. But you endured, climbed the ladder. National leagues, continental tournaments. Then one day, the letter arrived. World Cup selection. You remember sitting alone in your apartment staring at that message while the city buzzed outside? Your hands trembled. The dream of every referee on the planet. For a moment, it felt pure. That illusion lasted exactly 11 days. The first meeting happened in a luxury hotel in Doha. Air conditioning cold enough to freeze your breath. Marble floors polished so bright they reflected the chandeliers like stars. The man waiting for you sat calmly at the bar with a glass of whiskey and the relaxed posture of someone who owned the room. He introduced himself as Mr.
Calderon?
Not a Federation official, not a sponsor, something else.
Football,
He said with a quiet smile, is the most valuable theater on earth.
You didn't understand at first.
You thought he was a fan.
Maybe a billionaire investor. But then he slid a tablet across the table. Numbers. Betting markets. Billions of dollars moving across continents like invisible tides. And suddenly the stadiums, the chants, the players, all of it looked different because Calderon explained the truth.
A referee doesn't need to rig a match completely.
That would be obvious, suspicious, dangerous. All it takes is a few tiny moments. A yellow card in the 14th minute, a soft foul near the box, 3 extra minutes of stoppage time instead of 2. Invisible nudges, butterfly wings that turn the storm. You laughed at him that night, told him to go to hell, walked out of the hotel convinced you had just met a lunatic gambler. 3 days later, your sister was followed home from work. 2 days after that, someone broke into your apartment and left a single photograph on the kitchen table. Your parents, sleeping. The message was clear. You returned to the hotel the next night. Calderon greeted you like an old friend.
Good.
He said, now we can work together. That was the beginning. Not corruption. Control. They trained you the same way special forces train assassins. Not with guns, but with psychology. You studied game flow, player temperament.
referee positioning.
When to intervene? When to pretend you didn't see something?
When a crowd's reaction could be used to justify a decision. They called the program ghost refereeing. Because the best manipulation is invisible.
And you weren't alone.
There were others in the shadows.
Ledger.
A British analyst who monitored betting markets in real time. Quiet, thin, glasses always sliding down his nose. He could predict odds fluctuations faster than any algorithm. Torch. A former Balkan referee banned for match fixing. Explosive temper. Brilliant instincts for reading players' emotions.
And Saint.
The calm French coordinator who never raised his voice and never explained who he truly worked for. You trained together in secret seminars disguised as referee workshops, watching footage, practicing scenarios, learning how to guide matches without anyone realizing. It felt wrong at first. Then it started to feel powerful, because suddenly the game wasn't chaos anymore. It was chess.
Your first real assignment came during the quarterfinals?
A small moment. Defender clips a striker just outside the penalty box. 50-50 call.
You gave the free kick?
The goal that followed shifted the entire tournament bracket. Ledger later showed you the betting movement. $900 million changed direction because of that single whistle. You didn't sleep that night, but the next time was easier. And the next. Soon you were orchestrating matches, like quiet symphonies of doubt.
A penalty here.
A missed handball there. Players screaming in your face while cameras zoomed in. Commentators arguing, fans losing their minds. All while the real game played somewhere else entirely. And now, here you are. The World Cup final. The biggest stage. The biggest manipulation yet. Calderon's instructions were simple.
Team A must win.
But not obviously. It has to look like destiny. The captains shake hands at midfield while fireworks explode overhead. The crowd roars so loud your bones vibrate. Sweat trickles down your temple as you glance toward the VIP box high above the stadium. Calderon is sitting there, watching.
Waiting.
You raise the whistle to your lips.
The ball rolls.
The match begins. And somewhere deep inside your chest, buried under layers of fear and compromise, a small voice whispers something terrifying.
What if tonight?
You refuse to play their game.
The ball glides across the grass, and 22 players explode into motion around you.
Jerseys flashing under the floodlights, boots tearing small scars into the perfect field. The roar of the crowd rises and falls like a living animal breathing around the stadium. You jog into position automatically, muscle memory guiding every step, eyes scanning the passing lanes, the tackles, but beneath that calm professional rhythm, your pulse pounds harder with every second, because you can already feel the invisible hand of Calderon pressing down on the game. Minute 7. A winger bursts down the flank and cuts inside. A defender slides. Contact. Light. Very light. The striker collapses like has been shot. The crowd screams for a penalty. Cameras swing toward you instantly. Thousands of eyes waiting for your decision.
This is one of the moments.
Calderon's plan sits in your mind like a script. Early pressure. Psychological tilt. A soft penalty to destabilize the match before halftime. It's the cleanest way to push momentum toward the chosen side. Your whistle rises halfway to your lips.
Then you hesitate.
Because the contact was nothing. A brush. A ghost of a foul. The striker rolls across the grass, clutching his ankle while teammates surround you, shouting, pleading, threatening.
One grabs your arm.
Another screams inches from your face. You smell sweat, adrenaline, the bitter scent of grass torn from the ground. The stadium is shaking now. Penalty or dive.
Control or chaos.
You wave play on?
The striker's expression snaps from agony to disbelief. The crowd erupts again, this time split in two violent halves, half cheering, half howling in fury. Commentators somewhere above you start arguing instantly. Bold decision by the referee. Are you kidding me?
That looked like clear contact. Your heart hammers.
That wasn't in the script. And somewhere high above the field, Calderon is watching. The game flows forward. Fast. Brutal. Players crashing into tackles like soldiers in a war they barely understand.
You move constantly.
Adjusting angles. Staying close enough to control the match but never close enough to become part of it. This used to be the art you loved most, reading the invisible rhythm of football. But tonight, the rhythm feels wrong. Minute 23. A midfielder from Team A barrels through the back of an opponent. A reckless challenge. Studs up, the kind that usually earns a yellow card without debate. You reach for your pocket. Another moment. Because Calderon's plan said this player must survive the first half without suspension. If he gets a yellow now, hell, play cautious.
The match will shift.
The result becomes unpredictable. You remember Saint's voice during training? Sometimes the most powerful decision is pretending you saw nothing. The fouled player writhes on the grass. His teammates scream for punishment. The crowd whistles in outrage.
Your fingers brush the yellow card.
Then you pull your hand away.
Play on.
You shout.
The stadium erupts again.
Louder this time.
A wave of fury crashing down from every seat. Players swarm you, furious. The fouled midfielder shouts in your face, veins bulging in his neck.
Are you blind?
Maybe you are. Maybe you've been blind for years? But something strange is happening inside you now. Each call you make without Calderon's permission feels like cutting a thread from a puppet's strings.
Dangerous.
Terrifying. Addictive.
Minute 38.
The match tightens. Tackles harder. Tempers rising. You can smell the tension now. Sweat. Turf. The faint iron scent of blood from a busted lip. The game teeters on a knife's edge.
Then it happens.
Team B breaks through the defense with a perfect through ball. The striker bursts into open space. One defender left. He clips the striker's heel from behind. Clear foul. Inside the box. A penalty. Your whistle screams through the stadium before you even think. The roar that follows is apocalyptic. Players explode toward you, some celebrating, others raging. The defender grabs his head in disbelief. The striker kneels on the grass, pointing at the penalty spot. You stand there breathing hard. Because this wasn't part of the script either. Team B wasn't supposed to win. You glance instinctively toward the VIP section. Even from this distance, you can see Calderon stand up slowly. His face is impossible to read. The penalty taker places the ball carefully on the white mark. The stadium falls into a suffocating silence, broken only by distant chants echoing through the massive bowl of concrete. Your heartbeat thunders in your ears. The striker runs up. Shot. Net. The stadium detonates. Team B leads 1-0. For a moment, you almost forget everything. The corruption,
The threats.
The invisible war behind the match.
you just watch the players celebrate under the floodlights and remember why you fell in love with this sport in the first place. Then your earpiece crackles.
A voice you haven't heard during a match before.
Saint, calm, controlled. You're deviating from the program. You say nothing. You understand the consequences. He continues softly. Your eyes drift again toward the VIP section. Calderon is gone.
Your stomach tightens?
Because you suddenly realize something terrifying. The second half hasn't even started yet. And if Calderon's machine decides the referee has become a problem, there are many ways to remove a problem in front of 80,000 witnesses. Halftime arrives like a knife sliding quietly between ribs. The whistle blows and the stadium exhales in a thunder of voices while players storm toward the tunnels, some celebrating, others screaming at you as they pass. One spits near your boots. Another claps mockingly in your face. You barely hear them. Your mind is somewhere else entirely, replaying the voice that came through the earpiece. You're deviating from the program. The corridor beneath the stadium smells like wet concrete, disinfectant, and adrenaline-soaked jerseys. Security guards stand stiff along the walls while officials pretend everything is normal. But you can feel it. The atmosphere has shifted. The machine has noticed. Inside the referee locker room, the door shuts behind you with a dull echo. The silence feels wrong after the chaos outside. Your assistant referees sit on the benches, breathing hard, pulling tape from their wrists. They look at you the way soldiers look at a commander who just made a dangerous decision. That penalty, one of them says slowly. It was clear.
You reply.
He doesn't argue, but the doubt lingers in the room like smoke. You splash cold water on your face. The mirror shows a man who looks older than he did 2 hours ago. Your eyes are bloodshot, jaw tight.
The whistle cord hanging around your neck like a noose?
For years, you convinced yourself that what you were doing was subtle, harmless, just tiny corrections in a chaotic sport. Tonight shattered that illusion. Tonight, you can see the machinery clearly. And now the machinery is watching you. The locker room door creaks open. Not security, not tournament officials. Saint steps inside. He moves quietly, closing the door behind him with the calm patience of a priest entering a confessional. Immaculate suit.
No badge. No hurry.
The same gentle expression he always carried during those secret training seminars. Quite a first half. He says,
Your assistants exchange uneasy glances.
Saint gestures politely toward the hallway. Gentlemen, may I borrow the referee for a moment? They leave without argument. Now it's just the two of you. Saint folds his hands behind his back and studies you with those soft, analytical eyes. You were always one of our most disciplined referees, he says.
Reliable.
Precise. Predictable.
You threatened my family.
You reply quietly. He nods as if acknowledging a technical detail. Leverage is necessary in delicate operations.
Your fists tighten.
Team A must win, he continues calmly. The market exposure is too large to reverse now. And if I refuse, Saint smiles faintly.
Not cruel.
Not angry. Just patient. You misunderstand your role. The game will correct itself regardless of your cooperation. He reaches into his jacket and places a small black phone on the table. The screen lights up. A live video feed.
Your sister walking along a quiet street outside her apartment back home.
A black sedan idling across the road. Your throat tightens instantly.
You see?
Saint says gently, football is a game of consequences. The screen goes dark. Saint picks up the phone and slips it back into his jacket. Second half begins in 4 minutes.
We trust you'll make the appropriate adjustments.
He opens the door and leaves without another word. The silence that follows feels suffocating. You sit there for a moment staring at the floor tiles, heart pounding so violently you can feel it in your throat. All those years of quiet manipulation suddenly feel insignificant compared to the simplicity of the threat. Family, blood, the oldest leverage in the world. Your assistants return. 2 minutes, one says.
You stand slowly.
Your legs feel heavier now.
The whistle cord brushes your neck again as you step back into the tunnel. The stadium noise returns like a tidal wave crashing over your skull. Second half. The teams emerge under the floodlights once more, Team B still leading. Their fans singing like they already taste victory. Team's players look tense, desperate. Exactly. The emotional imbalance Calderon's system feeds on. You take your position.
The ball rolls again.
Minute 52?
A striker from Team A bursts into the box and collapses after the slightest touch. The kind of theatrical dive players practice in training grounds when cameras aren't watching.
Your whistle stays silent.
The stadium erupts in protest.
You keep running.
Minute 61. A defender from Team B clears the ball, but it strikes his arm as he falls. Completely accidental. Natural movement. No referee on earth would call that a penalty.
Your hand touches the whistle.
The image of your sister walking past that black sedan flashes through your mind.
Your chest tightens.
You blow the whistle.
The sound cuts through the stadium like a gunshot.
Penalty for Team A.
The reaction is instant chaos. Team B's players surround you in fury.
One grabs your jersey.
Another shoves your shoulder. You stand your ground while your assistants rush in to separate bodies.
Inside your chest, something breaks quietly.
The penalty is converted minutes later. 1-1. The stadium becomes a war zone of noise and accusations. Commentators shout.
Fans chant insults.
Social media somewhere explodes into conspiracy theories.
And you?
You continue guiding the storm.
A yellow card here.
A delayed advantage there. Tiny, invisible nudges. The machinery resumes its work. Minute 88. The score still tied. Then Team A launches one final desperate attack down the wing. A cross flies into the box. Bodies collide. The ball ricochets between legs. A striker from Team A falls. You didn't see the contact clearly, but the stadium erupts screaming for a foul.
Your whistle rises slowly. Your mind is empty now.
The whistle blows. Free kick at the edge of the box. The last nudge. The kick curls over the wall. Net. Goal.
Team A leads 2-1.
The stadium explodes into a hurricane of sound. Players collapse to the grass in celebration. Others scream in disbelief. Cameras zoom in on your face while commentators shout over each other, already arguing about the decision that changed the final. You stand in the middle of the field, breathing slowly while chaos unfolds around you. Because deep down you understand something now. It was never about football. It was about control. And tonight, the ghost referee did exactly what ghosts are meant to do. Disappear into the noise. The final whistle blows. The champions celebrate under fireworks while confetti rains across the pitch. And somewhere far away, a black sedan quietly drives away from your sister's street.